Oh my god. New set day again? We just did this! Did we not just do this? Pokemon just won't stop, will they? Yeah, despite it feeling like we've done like 4 new set days within the last month, we've already got a new one. This is Pokemon Heat Wave Arena, the latest Japanese set from Pokemon that I think is gonna be coming over as part of the English soon. I'm not sure if this is part of Journey Together or not, the next English set that's dropping at the end of this month, but I don't know, new Pokemon cards. We open. That's just kind of how we do things here. So, as you probably know at this point, I can't do this. Why can't I do this? So, as you probably know, I've been trying to play catch up with all the Pokemon sets, but it just kind of gets tough when they keep making more. And I'm also trying to kind of keep up with the Japanese side of the hobby a little bit more than usual, because normally I just did the English sets. But, again, for those of you who don't know, the Japanese side of the hobby always gets the sets first. So, if you want to keep up to date as soon as possible on what new stuff is happening in the game, you always got to go with the Japanese packs. This is yet another set like Battle Partners that has these trainer Pokemon cards. So this is a Toedscruel, but I am not aware of who that trainer is. We got an Electrike. Look at that art. Whoa. I don't know if I've ever seen Electrike be that shade of green, but that is fantastic art. Literally everything has like action lines and motion blur lines on it. This is like a smear frame. Then we got one of these little doggy guys. I know this evolves into Mabostiff, but is this Mastiff? I'm not sure. I don't know who that is. We got a Misty's Starmie. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is a trainer Pokemon set. This is not just Starmie, this is Misty's Starmie. We saw this already in the Battle Partners set a little while ago. And we will soon see it again in the Journey Together English set that's launching at the end of March. By the time you're watching this, it's probably getting pretty close to new set day for that. And ooh, Lapras! Oh, I always love Lapras cards, and this is Misty's Lapras. That's really cute. Lapras cards always remind me of playing Pokemon Snap when I was a kid. But yeah, we're getting pretty dang close to a new set on the English side of things, with even more on the way, and I'm just gonna take all these packs out and shuffle them up right now, because sometimes I feel like Japanese boxes, the seating of where the hits are is kind of this is not going well. Sometimes it feels like the hits are all like stuffed up at the top or something like that. I don't want to get the best card in the box early, so we're just gonna shuffle up these packs a little bit. I swear, man, when you really start to try and keep up with the new sets as they're coming out, it is overwhelming, because every time you finally get your hands on a new set, like 2 more have been announced, and especially right now where it's kind of hard for anyone to find Pokemon at any store, it's getting a little bit ridiculous how many sets keep coming out when I'm still trying to figure out how to get Surging Sparks, which came out in November. But we got our first holo of the box. Look at that. It's a Greedent. I haven't seen a Greedent card in a little while. We got so many of them during the Sword and Shield era, but we got a little Greedent guy. He's cute. That's our first pull. Look at that. I don't know what happened to my voice there. Look at that. I've explained this before, but for those of you who don't know, Japanese boxes do work a little bit differently than English Pokemon boxes. I believe these have 30 packs instead of 36. You are guaranteed 1 secret rare in every box, but secret rares on the Japanese side could be anything from a special illustration rare all the way down to a basic full art, which, you know, I love my basic full art, so that wouldn't be a problem for me. But it means you get a few less packs, you get fewer cards per pack, you're not guaranteed a rare in every pack, and you only really have the shot at like 1 really good card per box, unlike in English boxes where you can get a couple. Speaking of good cards though, look at this Pichu! Oh my god, oh, one of my childhood favorites, Pichu! He's cute! I used to play as Pichu in Super Smash Bros. Melee all the time, and every attack he made would hurt himself. It was such a weird mechanic. I've talked at length before about how Gen 2 is probably my favorite generation, just in terms of the sheer cohesive design of all the Pokemon. Like, there's a real unique aesthetic to Gen 2 that I just absolutely love. But we're seeing a lot of really nice art in this set. We got a little Cynthia's Feebas, the fossilized Magikarp type Pokemon. I almost said Quaquaval, which is the wrong Pokemon. Quilava. Oh man, I love seeing middle evolutions for the starters. Oh, that's so cute. We got a Quilava. A lot of Gen 2 in this set, interestingly. I guess it's because of this guy right here. Do we have anything in this pack? Yes, we do. We have a Holo Gyarados. Look at that. Holographic Misty's Gyarados. There's not a whole lot you can do with Gyarados art sometimes. Most of them are just him chaotically spewing out of the water, but it's a classic. It's a classic. If you look at the pack art here, you can see some of the stuff we might be able to find in this set. We have a Ho-Oh, obviously. Then we've got a Garchomp and a Mabostiff. Is that everything? Yeah, not quite as much going on this pack art as battle partners or anything like that. But that is obviously the gimmick that Pokemon's running with right now. And we've got an upcoming set. I can't recall if it's Japanese or English. That's called, I think it's called Destined Rivals. And it's that, it's that long rumored Team Rocket set that we've been hearing about for a little while. We got a Dondozo EX. That's our first EX. It's our first pull that isn't a holo, actually. This big goofy whale thing, EX. That's a very blue card. That's like only a blue card. Wow. There's not a single contrasting color on that card. But aside from what's on the pack art, I'm going into this set relatively fresh-faced. I don't really know much about what you can get in terms of the pulls. I would assume there's a Ho-Oh and a Garchomp and a Mabostiff. Oh, but apparently there's a Rotom. Look at this guy. Ooh, we got an illustration rare of Rotom doing some computer stuff, printing things off, I guess, sticking stuff on the screen. This is very similar in vibe to the Rotom Full Art V alternate art from Lost Origin, but it's a little bit cuter. That one was a bit more like high contrast, and this is much more like chill looking. It's very cute. Oh, the art style is great on that, actually. Look at the keyboard. Doesn't that look like it would make those really nice little soft clacky noises? That's our first big hit. Woo! Hooray. But that is an art rare, not a secret rare, so we still have the chance at full arts in this box. That is not our biggest hit of the box by far. So, as I said, these Japanese packs, you only get 5 cards per pack. It's a lot more akin to the TCG Pocket packs, if you're familiar with that app. You only get 5 cards in a pack. You're not guaranteed any rares or holos or anything like that, so it is completely up to fate if you get anything. And that means these boxes can go by pretty dang fast. It's literally like half as many cards as what's in an English pack, let alone a booster box. Look at this Starmie. Aw, what a very clean community pool. Got the columns in the background though. Again, an art that is almost entirely blue, but we do have Starmie popping out for a little bit of color contrast. That's really nice. We got is this Driplin? Is this Diplin? I think this is Diplin. I'm trying to learn these Apple Pokemon. We got Ponyta chilling in the grass. That's a very warm art, and not just because of the fire. The color on the grass has a lot of like yellow in it. This feels like a summer sunset time. It's very cute. Ooh, ooh, ooh. One of my favorite boys. I don't know what noise that was I just made. We got a Typhlosion holo. Ooh. I'm blanking on this character's name, but the fact that we're getting a lot of Gen 2 Pokemon because of his presence in this set makes me very happy. That is some intense Typhlosion art. Look at that. Obviously, you got the fire shooting out of his back, but then just the arc of the fire he's spitting is like crazy. That's awesome art. That might be my favorite card we've pulled so far. I feel like we're seeing a lot of fire and water Pokemon. Is that part of the gimmick? I mean, I know it's called Heat Wave Arena, so I'm sure we're gonna see a lot of fire type Pokemon, but we're also seeing a lot of water type Pokemon along with it. And then you got some like ground type Pokemon. Is that what we're going for here? Like, here's another fire type Pokemon, one of those ogre ponds. Or am I just overcomplicating things because I'm trying to make commentary? That could possibly be the thing. I don't do any planning before I make these videos, by the way. I grab the box, I turn the camera and the microphone on, and I go. This is a pack almost entirely dedicated to this one character so far, if I can hold cards. Look at that. We got that character, we got Pichu, and we got his little Slugma. Okay, do we get anything else? Oh, we got a Cynthia's, is it Roserade? It's like Roserade, Roselia, something like that. And, I think we got something on the back. Hey, there we go. Ho-Oh EX. Love that. This really was this character's just pack. Look at that. I don't think we've seen a Ho-Oh EX in the Scarlet and Violet era outside of TCG Classic and that one collection box that repurposed cards from TCG Classic. This might be the first set where you could actually pull a Ho-Oh EX. Huh. Modern Ho-Oh EX. There's obviously plenty of vintage ones. Okay, we're picking up steam. We've gotten a couple of EXs so far. One illustration rare. I don't know how many of those were necessarily meant to get in a box like this. I'm still kinda new to the Japanese side of the hobby. We got a little, is that Squavette? Is that what it is? The Greedent pre-evolution. He's stuffing so much stuff into his chubby little cheeks. He's got all the fruit and the cart. We got a Teal Mask Ogerpon, and that's it. But yeah, because of how the Pokemon TCG works between the Japanese releases and the English releases, a lot of the cards we're seeing here we're almost certainly going to be seeing again relatively soon when their English counterparts come out. Look at that Electabuzz! Aw, who's he pointing at? Who's Who's he pointing at? That's a really cute art style, though. I love the lineless art on some of these cards. Ooh, oh man, I don't remember. Is it Mudbray? Or it's one of the Mudbray line. I can't remember their name exactly, but that is one of those cool arts that's definitely 2D, definitely an illustration, but is utilizing its shading to really make it look 3D. That's very impressive. Then we got a Tauros, not a Paldean Tauros this time, and oh, a little shaman, little stupid little hedgehog thing. Look at that. That is some stunning art. The grass and the flowers and the puddles, they look so realistic. Oh, that's gorgeous. Wow. Yeah, because I've been making a lot more Pokemon content lately, just a lot of more Foafy content in general. Not all Pokemon, but, you know, I've been filming a lot of Pokemon. Whoa, look at that sandwich. Look at that sandwich. That's one hell of a BLT. They even got the little flag poking down in the center of it. That bacon doesn't look all that cooked, though. That's a cool sandwich, though. I respect the sandwich. We do get a Magikarp in this set. But no, because I've been opening a lot more Pokemon cards and making a lot more Pokemon videos, I have been finally kind of getting the Jones to get back into playing a Pokemon game. If you've been following me for a while, you know that infamously, I've not actually finished any like mainline Pokemon game. The only Pokemon games I've played start to finish are the Pokemon Snap games, which I adore those games, but I just kind of tend to struggle staying committed to the mainline Pokemon RPGs. I don't know who this is. I like their pose, but every now and then I just get the itch to play a Pokemon game for that nostalgic vibe of starting out on a Pokemon journey, I guess. And usually the ones that I go right to are my childhood favorite, which is Ruby, the one I played the most. Sorry, I got distracted because I realized we had something. We got a Garchomp EX, Cynthia's Garchomp EX. Look at that. Talking about action lines, look at that intense swipe that's going on in that art. That's crazy. Yeah, as counterintuitive as it might be, I don't really have much desire when I'm thinking about starting to play a Pokemon game. I don't really think about playing Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet. I think about playing the older ones, and the main ones that strike me are, we got a Greedent illustration rare. Look at him. Look at him fighting over the sandwich. He's so greedy. He's so hungry. He's like a cat. I know he's like a squirrel, but he's greedy for food like a cat, and he'll just get all up in your business about it. Oh, is that the same sandwich? Oh, have we seen a return of the sandwich? Oh, sandwich lore. Pokemon sandwich lore. That's a really cute art. Oh, that's adorable. But yeah, when I'm thinking of playing Pokemon, my mind goes straight to Ruby or Omega Ruby, obviously, or maybe like Black and White or Diamond and Pearl, because those are the ones that as a kid I skipped over that caused me to have my like time away from Pokemon. Like I didn't get Diamond and Pearl, and so I just got out of Pokemon as a teenager. So I've always been curious about what I missed out on during that DS generation. But weirdly enough, the one I always kind of just go back to for one reason or another is X and Y. I didn't realize this, but I had actually played X and Y for like 9 hours back in the day, like maybe back around like 2015 or something like that, as I was kind of starting making gaming content on the Game Theorist channel a lot. I started getting back into Pokemon, and I played X and Y for like 9 hours, and I completely forgot. So for whatever reason, maybe that's why I just have this like inherent desire to go back to X and Y. Something about it's nostalgic to me now, and I know we're getting some X and Y stuff back in the games soon with Legend ZA, but yeah, maybe I'll finally commit to a Pokemon game. But we got this Macargo holographic. That's really ominous. Again, with the really intense fire Pokemon art in this set. Look at that. Because my brain goes right to X and Y, but also like Ruby and Sapphire, part of me does think maybe I should just kind of split the difference and play Omega Ruby instead. I have so much work to do that I never have time to sit down and play games. But look at this Psyduck. Real Breaking Nate's gonna go crazy about this one. Look at this amazing shiny glimmery Psyduck. He's glistening. He's glowing. He's living his best life. He's so stupid. God, what an idiot. And we got a little Gabite, then this little rock lobster. He's a rock lobster. Aw, I think he's more of a hermit crab, but oh, we got a cute little Cyndaquil. Now we finally got all three of them. Quilava, Typhlosion, and Cyndaquil. Cute. And would you look at that? We're already damn near the end of the box. Look at that. We only got like maybe, what is that, 10 packs left? Something like that. We're already 2/3 of the way through the box. We're definitely still waiting on our full art secret rare pull of the box, and that could be a full art full art EX. It could be a full art trainer. It could be a special illustration rare. It could be a gold card of some kind. I don't really know what's in the set at all. Let's see. Ooh, we got a, is it Zeraora? Fine, I'll look it up. Yeah, it's a Zeraora holographic. Nice. I do kind of like them when holos aren't guaranteed. It makes them feel a little bit more special. And I'm a real apologist for like classic Pokemon holos. I think they need a lot more love. Knowing nothing about what's in the set, actually, if I were to hazard a guess as to what the most sought after card is, it's probably one of Cynthia's Pokemon. Cynthia tends to be a fan favorite trainer, and so I would imagine one of her Pokemon cards is one of her trainer Pokemon cards. I don't really know what you call it, character rare kind of thing, is probably what people are going after the most. But ooh, we got this Yan Mega. We got a Yan Mega EX. I was not expecting an EX of this Pokemon to make an appearance. Look at that. Looks like an armored Caterpie kinda. This one is not attributed to being owned by any particular trainer. This is just a Yan Mega. Huh, would you look at that? At the time I'm filming this, Pokemon is still very much in its drought. Things are not going particularly well for the Pokemon card hobby still. Though, while I was going to my local Target the other day just to grab a prescription from the pharmacy, I just happened to catch them while they were restocking the shelves. Now, I haven't seen Pokemon cards in this Target for like 5 months, so this was kind of an interesting sight. So I wasn't really looking to get any cards at the time, but just out of curiosity, I stuck around to see what was going down, and there was already a line forming. Of course there was, but I just kind of sat in line, did one of my Rubik's Cubes for a little while. Everyone was limited to 4 items. You could only get 4 items. Everyone was civil. It wasn't like a rush or chaos at all. It actually was handled very well. But it was the first time since the set came out in January that I've been able to find Prismatic Evolutions at MSRP. I can't believe it took months for that to happen. Either way, we got a Roserade, Cynthia's Roserade holo. That's pretty cool. Oh, we only got 5 packs and the camera's overheating. No! Once again, feels like this happens almost every time I make one of these videos. My camera overheated because it is surrounded by studio lights, and I don't remember where I left off. But we've only got 5 packs left in the box, and we are still due our secret rare, so we should be getting something relatively big pretty soon as we wrap up this Heatwave Arena opening. Look at this Sudowoodo. I feel like it's been a minute since I saw such an autumn-themed card. This is beautiful. All the orange and yellow leaves and Sudowoodo like stomping around. Are his hands leaves? Like, I know he's like a tree, but are his hands leaves? Because then the question has to be asked, you know, should his leaves be changing color during the autumn, or is he evergreen? I don't know. Then we got a little Slugma, and ooh, another illustration rare, this time of Hydrapple. I believe it's Hydrapple. I've been seeing a lot of these apple Pokemon, so I've been trying to commit their names to memory. But this is the multi-headed dragon apple, so Hydrapple makes sense. And they are just spewing juice, cider, fire. I don't know what they're shooting, but they are all going crazy. And they're in the middle of this gorgeous pink and blue and green forest. That's gorgeous art, man. Look at that. 3 illustration rares in 1 Japanese booster box is actually pretty good. That's like 1 in 10 packs, basically. And we still should have one more big thing coming up. We got a few Misty Pokemon, Electrike, and that person again. Oh, I think I miscounted. We've got 4 packs left now, so we must have had 6 packs at the start. I don't know. It's kind of hard to eyeball this stuff sometimes. But yeah, we got 4 more packs left. So let's see. We got, some intense Rapidash art. Complete opposite of that super chill Ponyta we saw. We got a Yanma. Pretty intensely detailed artwork for a Yanma. Another almost photorealistic forest setting for this little cartoon dragonfly to be in. And then just a Teal Mask Ogrepon. Oh, okay. I just remembered that just like in Battle Partners, this set is gonna have those full arts that have the Pokemon in the front, but then their trainer kind of in the back, like somewhat in silhouette. That would actually be pretty cool to pull. I've not pulled any of those from anything that I've opened yet when it comes to these new trainer sets, but we just got a Shaman in this pack, and we only got 2 packs left, so we might be coming down to the last pack when it comes to our secret rare. Unless they've changed the rules on those and I'm not aware, we should be getting something. We got a little Mudbray, cute little Cyndaquil. The Cyndaquil's got a big head. It's a much more weirdly proportioned Cyndaquil than usual. Usually his body's a little bit bigger. I don't know, I'm nitpicking. But then, ooh, here we go. There it is. There's our secret rare. And it is an EX Full Art Electivire. Not a trainer Pokemon, so I still have not managed to pull any of those. But another amazing full art to add to the collection. And he's got this kind of greenish yellow zappy background. That's Gorgeous. These are my favorite. And that brings us to our last pack. As I'm filming this, I just released my Stellar Crown opening that I filmed back in like October, and that video has aged horribly because right after I filmed it, all of the craziness that's been going on lately started happening. And so, man, my opinions on Pokemon cards are kind of unpopular sometimes. I do think I worded things a little bit improperly in that video. Ooh, another Hydrapple, and that is going to round out our box. See, in that video, I was trying to talk about the reasons why I personally had felt a little less interested in recent Pokemon sets at the time. And for me personally, I have, I think, just a different taste in Pokemon cards than a lot of other people. Like, given the choice between these two cards, I prefer this. Most people prefer this. And I prefer cards like this, like the old VMAXs and the Rainbow Rares and stuff that you don't really see as much anymore. So for me, the balance feels a little bit shifted to where Pokemon is focusing on cards that I really do like, but they're just not my preference. But I worded it kind of poorly because I was flying off the seat of my pants, and it kind of came off like I was saying that, oh, there's too many good cards at a time when no one can even get the cards, and it came off pretty bad, so I'm sorry about that. But, you know, I just kind of wanted to clear the air on that. To wrap up our Heatwave Arena, that's the name of the box, Heatwave Arena booster box, we got a Greedent holographic. Again, holos are not guaranteed in this kind of stuff. We got a Gyarados holo, then we got Macargo, Zero Aura, Roserade, and Hydrapple holos, plus my favorite holo of the box by far, the Typhlosion. This one's really cool. Then moving into our EXs, we got Dondozo, Ho-Oh, Garchomp, and Yanmega. Up in that again into our illustration rares, we got a Rotom, another Greedent, interestingly, and another Hydrapple. And then my favorite card of the box, our secret rare full art Electivire EX. This one's great. That was a really fun box. I like this trainer thing they're doing, and I assume what we've seen here is going to be either in Journey Together or in that Destined Rivals thing that's coming out, the Team Rocket thing. So we will be seeing a lot of this kind of card again in the future as the English stuff comes out. But for now, that is Heatwave Arena. So, oh god, I threw it and then a lot of things fell over. Yeah. So, yeah. Leaf.